This is
Up
Up for Grabs, a podcast where three unfiltered friends talk about anything and everything. And now, here are your hosts, Tracy, Kim, and Rachel.
Welcome to Up for Grabs. I'm Rachel, here with my co-conspirators, Tracy.
Hello.
And Kim.
Hello.
Co-conspirators, because today we're talking about conspiracy theories. I guess we're talking about ones, I guess they can entertain us, can't they? I mean, it's not that they...
I'm going for the entertainment factor because most of what we're going to talk about, I do not buy into.
Okay.
But I also am saying maybe it's all true, and if it is, I don't want to be on the bad side of it. So I'm going to say I'm just like real light and airy about my talk on this.
Yeah,
I'm protecting myself.
You're just amused.
Yes. It's all for my amusement.
Kim, were you a big conspiracy theorist?
No, they interest me. And like Tracy, I think some of them, maybe some of the more legit, I'm kind of easily influenced. And if I ever went down the rabbit hole of really investigating why it's a conspiracy theory, I probably could have my mind changed. And I think I just stay away from it.
Well, I know you and really, Tracy, you both kind of have a criminal mind. I mean, you both like true crime. And this is kind of...
we don't have a criminal mind. We have a mind for criminal... criminal mind sounds like we're out here creating crimes.
Well, you're not the criminal, but I'm saying
I take
you
that as a
enjoy...
compliment.
Like you're...
I do.
Well, you feel, you like true crime. Let me reword it that way.
Okay, yes.
You're not a criminal mind per se.
Correct.
But crawling into the criminal mind does intrigue you.
Okay, we could put it,
Okay.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think that I do love a good conspiracy theory. Most I balk at.
Okay.
But there are a few out there that have piqued my interest through the years, and I think that I could be on both sides of it.
Okay.
So
I will say 5 or 10 years ago, I would have balked at most of them. And now I go, oh, yeah, that could be true.
yeah, we live in a completely where there's a lot
Cuckoo
more
for Cocoa
information.
Puffs? Absolutely, that could be true. Whatever
because-
random freakish thing you're going to say, yep.
Is that because of the onset of the internet and is that why within the past 10 years?
No, it's the world has gone mad, and
we've gone mad.
At least the United States has gone mad. I don't know about the world, but to the point of whatever crazy ass thing you're going to say, I'm going to go, yeah, that makes sense to me now. 110% that happened, whatever it is.
Well, one thing that I thought was interesting when I was first looking into conspiracy theories was I looked up, why is it that people believe them, or why do people make them up? And one of the science-y people said, and this to me made sense, was that people that perpetuate them or make them up or believe them to be 100% true are people that lack a lot of control in their lives. Like they're not decision makers. They're mistrustful of people in power.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any. And it's almost like they project the worst possible outcomes because they don't trust the people.
But what if they're really the smart ones than the people with the money? And so they know what the people with the money are doing. So it's true.
What if?
That's what I'm saying.
I could also see them being, and I'm not categorizing that every conspiracy theorist that they're argumentative or that they're debaters, like somebody that's always sees the opposite of you do.
I feel like 30 years ago, the people that believed in conspiracy theorists or theories lived out in the desert and wore tinfoil hats, and everyone made fun of them. Now, the people that believe in conspiracy theories have platforms on social media and have platforms on TV or whatever it is, and they have degrees, and people are believing them.
Yeah.
So what used to be looked at as cuckoo, now it's like, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And like the tinfoil hats, everybody would be like, they're crazy. Well, now we know that these microwaves, what are they doing? I don't know. Are they in our brains? They say 5 years from now we won't use phones. We'll have a chip embedded or whatever. I don't know in our...
Who said that?
They
didn't.
Of course they did.
I've never heard that. Have
You can
you?
already get a chip
They
implanted in
said-
your
they
wrist
chip-
to pay
they do- they say
for like things.
People are just going to use.
Yes,
Yes, you can. They said people are
Do
just
you
going to
know
wear.
anyone?
No, but I think that like Google or one of those
Yes.
huge companies already are doing prototypes of
And
them.
people are just going to wear like glasses instead of a
Yes.
phone. And then you can see, you can talk. It's got a microphone for your mouth, your ear. Like it's all right there on your face. And it'll be hands free. If anyone could see the face Rachel is giving us right now of incredulous disbelief, there's that. I mean, have you guys used the Chat GPT at all yet?
No, I don't even understand exactly what that means.
Okay.
No, I don't know anything.
It's a form of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So AI, it's called Chat GPT. And
Where do
it
you
is
find it?
on the interweb. It's
The dark web or on like the
no, it's
real
on
web?
regular old web. It's new to the general public in the last month or two.
What is it?
It is like a kind of a search engine, but it's really smart, and you can ask it a question and it can produce it very quickly. So what would have, like, let's say I was going to write a paper on conspiracy theories. And so I would put into Chat GPT, tell me about conspiracy theories. And it would bring up 1,000 words of all of the most useful information on conspiracy
Wow.
theories. But it's saying it's going to replace a whole lot of jobs.
Well, yeah.
And
Like what?
And it's going to let college students not really have to work at writing papers.
So, yeah, they have said that
Or
they've already checked
any
into
kind
it.
of students.
Yeah. So some schools are looking into it, and it's going to be really hard for schools to identify it as plagiarism because they bring it from so many different sources, where before the software they
Yeah.
use can read word for word on the sources, but this apparently mixes it up. Or it can, like whatever you're asking it for, like I was working on a resume updating the other day, and there was a particular job I needed to update my resume for. So I put in there the title of this job and said, give me some good words for this, and it gave for a resume, and it gave me the whole thing. And then I just transferred it over. So
Well,
unless
I think
you're going to hire me, and then I did it all on my own.
no, but I think for that's super helpful because you're trying to get a job. But how do you think this technology could replace a job?
So let's say I do social media marketing, and I have to make 20 posts for the internet. So I will say, give me 10 posts on Up for Grabs podcasts. Give me 10, word sound bites,
Yeah.
whatever, and it will produce those. So then someone doesn't have to pay me to do it because it will be generated right there.
So I won't have to pay you to do it anymore.
Well, you got to start before you can stop, but yes. That is correct. So anyway, I think a lot of people, so then the conspiracy theory that comes in with the Chat GPT is if we're all getting our information from things like that, then how do we validate it? Who's feeding it? Where does it
Right.
come from? Who's behind that?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. And will I use it without knowing the answer? Yeah, and that's probably a bad thing, but whatever.
It's probably QAnon because when I was doing a lot of research here on
Oy,
the
oy,
internet
oy.
about conspiracy theories, those QAnoners were just
I'm telling you, and I'm so uneducated with it,
yeah.
but I know enough that it scares me.
I just realized it
is- yeah.
it was a summation to me. I was like, well, what is QAnon? It kind of just encapsulated. You just think of anything evil you can think of,
Yeah.
and throw it in one big group of people, and that's what they're doing.
Yes, I don't see a whole lot of conspiracy theories that are for the good of the general pop. Okay,
That is a really good point.
Because
They
I looked
they
for them.
really aren't.
Well, because when we first started talking about the fact that we were going to do a podcast on conspiracy theories, and I said to you guys, I think we should stay away from politics because, I'm
That's
worried
what they
about
all
offending
are.
people when really, I don't care if I offend you. Anybody who's listening that gets offended by me, then you don't know me. Or you don't already know that I think that way. So I thought, though, for some of our listeners, I didn't want to alienate people.
Oh, I'm all about it.
So I said, let's not talk about politics. And you were like, can
They're
we
all.
talk about conspiracy theories without bringing up politics?
No.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, you can
Yeah,
get
so
less.
It's interwoven.
Yeah, it's interwoven, definitely. I mean, there's some lighthearted ones, I guess.
I feel like
but
there's so much U.S. based, and I couldn't find a whole lot of international conspiracy theories. Like, it's
Yeah.
us. We're the problem. It's
That
the call
or-
is coming from inside the home is what's happening.
Oh no,
Yeah,
not again.
it is.
Okay, so I looked around. I'm interested to hear which conspiracy theories jumped out at you, Kim. Do you want to give me one that entertained you or one that you made you think?
Well, I mean, the one that I've always been probably the most fascinated with and watched maybe more documentaries than need be is the whole JFK assassination.
Okay.
And that's probably out of, I mean, I shouldn't say out of all the conspiracy theories that I know about, that's the one that really does make me stop and think, who orchestrated his death, and was it
it wasn't that one man?
Yeah. And I believe personally that there's a lot more to it, but I think we've been told enough. And you know how they allow, you know, certain documents to become public after so many years. I think that we've learned enough that
it was politically motivated.
It was politically motivated, and who was behind it and why they were behind it, whatever. But it was.
Did something get released recently, or wasn't it supposed to?
It was a few years ago. It was maybe 2 or 3.
I felt like maybe a couple weeks ago something was supposed to be, but guess what? Nobody even. Like, I think everyone accepts it. So no one's like...
That's exactly. I think that people know...
Okay, I don't even care what the facts are because I know it happened.
I think that people know that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't just this rando out there that decided he was going to kill the president. That's just not how it worked.
He didn't really come off as a sharpshooter. I don't know. That just...
And the fact that he was killed so quickly after it all took place. It just... Yeah. So that one, I mean, obviously fascinates me a lot. I don't know if there are others. I'm going to have probably have my mind, like when you guys talk about it, things will come to mind. But that one, in particular, I can't really think of anything else at the top of my head.
I'll go in with a few that come to mind.
Okay.
The idea of us being in a matrix and time travelers. I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory, but that's a theory that people believe that like this is... And I can get behind it. Kind of like that book we read, The Midnight Library.
Right.
Where people shift between...
Well, I think we're learning so much.
Between realms. I don't know if I'm using the right word. So someone who is more... I'm like, sure, that makes sense. Like you meet someone and you're like, that person's an old soul. I've said that for my whole life. And my parents said that. You know, they're an old soul. What do you mean they're an old soul? I'm Catholic, so it's not like reincarnation is part of ours, but it is other religions. Does it mean that that person has been in other lifetimes? Does it mean that they're shifting from one to the next?
Like dimensions?
Yes.
Sort of. I'm not... Yeah. Like kind of a space. I think there's been a lot of movies lately about that.
Yeah.
Don't Worry, Darling specifically was kind of like an alternate universe type thing. I think that there's been a lot of science out there that's kind of opened our eyes to what's out there.
Yes.
Versus that's one of the things that if I dug down in the rabbit hole, I probably would freak myself out about it.
Well, and that's what I say before I start this, because I'm not going to get freaked out about any of this.
Yeah, me neither.
Because you know what? I can't change it.
No, I mean...
I am not going to get worked up. It is going to be what it is going to be. And I'm interested, but not to the point that I'm going to worry or stress over anything that we're discussing, because I'm pretty sure that my limited skill set isn't going to make or break any of it.
Right.
Well, and I think when you were talking about time, it blows my mind to the point that I don't get it. And then I think I would worry about it, but I'm not smart enough to worry about it. So it's like,
me too.
I feel like ignorance is bliss on that one. I mean, it could all be going on right in front of me, but I'm happy to not know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you some stuff. No, I'm not. I don't have facts. I just like, but I do think about that, you know, like the fact that the United States has a Space Force now and everyone just accepted that, like Army, weird. Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force. Nobody said, there was no buildup I mean, it went from Star Trek to we have a Space Force.
I know.
And I don't know what happened in between.
And is the Space Force even recruiting? Because, you know, the Army is recruiting actively, but I don't see anyone saying, hey, 18-year-old
cafeterias.
guy, why don't you come and be part of our Space Force?
Maybe they already have the aliens that have landed here.
I think it's this sneaky little group of people that do their own recruiting. It's like this underground.
Like the Freemasons?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yes. I don't know why I said that.
That's a good one.
I just kind of think that there's so much they don't talk about it.
Yes.
So why not?
I mean, you know, like, I think everyone accepts, like, all of a sudden, everyone agreed that, yes, of course there's life on other, we can't be the only ones. And I feel like everyone all of a sudden accepted that, where before you were nutso if you thought they were Martians. Now, do I think they're little green people like we thought back in the 70s? Probably not. But does it make sense that this is the best there is? Like we're the top? Hope not, because we're getting a lot of stuff wrong.
Well, that brings me to one of the specific conspiracy theories that I saw that I thought was interesting was a UFO sighting. I don't know if you guys came across this in your stuff, but it was a UFO sighting in Flora, Mississippi, which I think is interesting in the fact that
there was a documentary on this.
Was there?
Yeah,
Flora, Mississippi.
Yes.
Okay. So basically it says it was February 10th, 1977, and didn't say how many, but several police officers claimed to have seen this hovering object in Flora, Mississippi. And after, 50 years afterwards, they say that there's part of where it was hovering, like on either side, that nothing will grow. It was like over this foresty area.
Yeah.
And no one's ever explained why. And the guy that said, the police officer or whatever he was, that had come forward and said, hey, we saw something hovering, it wasn't that far away. All of a sudden he didn't want to talk about it anymore. And it was after he talked to the government, and suddenly he was like, if I would have known it would have caused this much trouble, I never would have brought it up.
Yes.
So this was just one, like in my looking around on the internet, this was just one of hundreds of examples of people thinking they saw something that was like a UFO. And now in the past couple of weeks, we've had UFOs flying about
freely.
Just flying about freely, right in the open, not even at night. People shooting them down. I just thought with all of the different stories, I just think there has to be some sort of truth in it. There has to be.
Well, didn't they form some type of panel? I mean, this has been recent, where I don't know the specifics of it, but some kind of panel that's like studying this and really looking into this. I mean, I know they always kind of have, but they're being public about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think that, again, the same thing with that we didn't used to believe. Now it's like, whatever. I think the same thing with UFOs. I think I don't know. I mean, that are behind it.
And maybe it's because there's cameras everywhere now that we didn't have that before, so it was easy to deny. I don't know.
True.
You know what I mean? It would be a lot easier to say that wasn't real when there was no actual physical proof. But now there's movement cameras in everyday Joe's yards,
right.
you know?
Well, and I think it was interesting when the past couple of weeks across the United States, when they had 2 or 3 different
spy balloons.
I think there were 4 of the balloons.
So there's
that got
4
shot
balloons
down.
just ballooning through the country. But the thing that I thought was sketchy, and then I thought, oh boy, if I think this is sketchy, the people that are conspiracy theorists are all over this. They shot down a couple of them, but then they couldn't find
They couldn't
them.
retrieve the remains of what was shot down.
Yes, they could.
They probably have them, and it's not our business. Maybe we
Why
don't
isn't
need
it our business?
Oh, I think it's our business.
I don't know that I think it's our business. Why do we need to know everything? Like, we can't process the information. We don't have what it takes to do anything with that information. So to give us the raw data when nothing's been done to find out about it leads to more conspiracy theories. Give somebody who knows what they're talking about time to do something with the information.
Okay,
Well,
but
yeah,
don't lie in the
I understand
in the
that.
between.
Go ahead and lie. Lie to me all day
really?
long. Yeah, all day.
If
Lie.
a plane crashes and they find the black box, they tell us they find a black box and they say, hey, we're going to need some time to evaluate what the black box told us. I think it's the same thing with that. I don't think that,
Hey, we found the balloon.
I mean, they don't have
Yeah.
to, if it's like spy gear, I mean, they don't need to specifically say, oh, this is what it picked up.
You don't think people are going to ask those questions?
Well,
where-
absolutely, but we'll never find it. I mean,
but isn't it easier to avoid the questions if you say, I don't have it? I don't
Well,
know.
sure.
I'm throwing it out there.
absolutely.
I'm not saying
I don't
I'm
think
right.
anybody believes that there wasn't something found.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that kind of thing. The whole Flora thing, back to that in the UFO, what I remember from the documentary that I watched was that they actually spoke to meteorologists and they spoke to airline traffic controllers, and they tried to go back and, like, with what little data they had at that time, they tried to go back and kind of explain what was seen, what the atmosphere was, and just truly, it didn't make any sense what was in the sky. It didn't. And that's what made it really fascinating, was that all these people saw it, and all these, I mean, they let the 911 calls come through.
Right.
You know, this and this and this and this. And it was really interesting.
Okay. I didn't realize
really
that there was a
interesting.
documentary. Yeah.
I've got a couple that the birds work for the bourgeoisie. Have you guys come across that one back in the day?
Sweet Jesus.
What are you talking about?
Kids used to say that all the time.
I have never heard that
t-shirts,
phrase.
There
What
are bumper
kids?
stickers. Well, mine, but others too. Birds work for the bourgeoisie. One, it's really fun to say the words. But yeah, there's like bumper stickers and coffee cups.
When was this popular?
Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Is
I
that
don't
a
know.
bird?
Birds
go-
work for the.
The theory is that something happened, that all of the birds were killed off, and the birds that are there now are, I guess, robots, for lack of a better term.
Birds, like in the sky, birds. Okay.
And they are spying on everyone and everything. And when they go on the wires, that's when they're recharging.
Okay, I've never heard, and
Okay.
I feel like I know a lot about
Google
dumb
it.
stuff.
Google it and get
Wait a
back
minute.
to me.
Is that why I see bumper stickers sometimes that say birds are real?
Yes,
Because some people think birds aren't real?
correct.
Well,
I never knew what that meant.
Have you seen pictures in the past couple of weeks of birds on wires hanging upside down, like dead but stuck?
no.
Okay. Just look at the latest pictures of birds.
Okay.
Oh, there have been pictures. Now, I don't know if people are editing a lot of photos, and I'm willing to accept that that's more than likely what it is, but there are pictures of birds dead in the sky but not flying. I know what I'm saying sounds weird.
I
No,
don't.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, like, it's fascinating. I believe what you're saying.
And that
I don't.
supposedly this is just and what the powers that be, the bourgeoisie, have done to
Is that just a made up word?
no.
Bourgeoisie is like the
I've never heard that word
Yeah.
before.
It is like the upper class. The
upper
Like
echelon.
bougie? Is that where
Yes,
bougie comes
yes.
from?
Yes.
it's
Okay.
it's the people.
See, I'm more hip. I
It's-
say bougie.
It's the people that are in charge and have the money and the resources and the stuff.
Okay.
The Illuminati,
Let's go there.
Let's go.
Illuminati, Hollywood.
they were everywhere.
And I'm just kidding. If you're real.
What?
I don't know. I'm just putting disclaimers out there, protecting myself and my family. The whole idea of this Illuminati and that like these Hollywood people pretty much signed away their soul. And if they go against it, they lose their fame and fortune.
That is very interesting.
And there's also some Scientology somewhere in all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But pretty much that they signed on, and if they don't do what's told, all of a sudden they don't have the gigs, and all of a sudden something comes out about them and their reputation is ruined. And they have no place in that society anymore.
But isn't the Illuminati also just like the most powerful people across the entire world?
I believe so.
Isn't that what's
Yes,
it's
the money.
supposed to be?
That's where the
Yes,
money
they
is.
are supposed to be. Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the United States goes, a lot of that is the people tied
Right.
in to Hollywood, because
Oh,
that's where we get a lot of
absolutely.
a lot of the information is disseminated to the general public.
Yeah.
through the old
absolutely.
boob tube. That's what we used to
Here
call
we
it.
go. No one, you didn't. Well, you actually probably did. Well, one of the things that went along with that is that I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of the Denver airport that has a lot of
Yes.
Illuminati ties. Have you read up on the Denver
No.
airport? Okay.
The underground. Are you going to say that?
Well,
Okay.
there's just a lot going on in the Denver airport.
Okay.
And I think I've only flown through there once, and now I'm mad after reading about it that
didn't
I
know.
didn't look around.
Yeah.
Well, the history is that even before it opened in 1995, conspiracy theorists were already asking questions about the Denver airport. I guess apparently there was nothing wrong with the original airport that was actually in downtown Denver. The Denver airport's 45 minutes away from downtown Denver.
Okay.
So people are already wondering, hey,
Why they built it?
Why are you building this? So then it goes way over budget. And by way over, I mean like $2 million over budget.
Okay.
And it's this whole underground system that they were going to use for baggage claim or something. That's what they said. But all of a sudden, after they went over and have this area, it didn't work. And they said, oh, that's okay. So now they have this whole underground area that was supposed to be used for baggage claim stuff, and it's not being used. I'm sorry, it was $2 billion over budget, not million, billion.
I was going to say
that
million.
sounded measly.
The airport, it says here in this article, is twice the size of Manhattan.
Denver is?
The Denver airport.
And this underground place, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
like supposed to be for all of the
Secret meetings.
elite and secret meetings. And if stuff goes bad and something happens, they all retreat to this
their bunker.
underground
How have I
bunker
never
in the
heard of
middle
this?
the earth, in the middle
Okay,
of the
but
United
that's not
States.
even my favorite part about the Denver airport. It goes on.
Murals. What are you going to
Yes.
say? I knew it.
So they were talking about the art that they put in there. And I guess there's this big horse statue outside that looks to have red eyes.
Cameras, perhaps.
I don't know why you would put a big horse outside your airport, but so it has that. And then inside, it has like creepy artwork that's for some reason has like a Nazi officer in a gas mask and children in front of a burning building and kids gathered around a knife. And
Yes.
And
I don't know why.
if travel wasn't, post 9/11 travel wasn't stressful enough, walking through an airport and seeing that imagery would be frightening.
And it's all very bright and colorful, and I bet people don't even really focus on what it is. So
There should be
maybe
no
it's
such
subliminal.
artwork of Nazis in any building
And
ever.
Okay, so to take it a step further, no one knows who funded the Denver airport. It was funded by a group that called themselves the New World Airport Commission. And then with a little digging, it shows that there
NWO?
is no such group that exists.
Ooh.
Yeah. So and then it goes along with the New World Order, the whole Illuminati thing. I mean, if this is the Illuminati main base, they did a horrible job of hiding it with all of these weird clues.
But did they? Because it's right out in plain sight.
Well, we just figured it
Isn't
out.
that the best? Did we though?
I did.
Because there's probably more to it. That's probably like secret something that we don't know the code. We don't know what they're trying to say.
Where is Tom Hanks when we need him?
Oh my
There
God.
needs to be a movie made
He's
about
being
this.
canceled right now.
or Nick Cage.
I bet he went against.
Oh, here we go.
He
He's
went
being
against Hollywood. And
Oh, the one last thing about the Denver airport, they claim that from an aerial view, all of the landing strips form a swastika.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I'm looking at it and it kind of does. I guess if you use your imagination, you can see it.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to know about the Denver. Maybe we need to take
That
a trip
is
to the Denver
very,
airport
Very interesting.
and say that we want to go downstairs. That we're here for the meeting. See if we can get in.
We're here to look for our air quote luggage, if you know what I'm saying.
If you know what I mean.
That's interesting.
Okay, well, Kim, you need to read up on that
I know.
that's just scratching the surface. Anybody else have another conspiracy theory that they wanted to
I got
discuss?
a couple randos I can throw out there.
Okay, let's hear it.
The random staircases. Have you seen those? Supposedly, random staircases are showing up in fields, in wooded areas.
Oh, I heard about
in
this.
cities, and I don't know if it's true, but people are going up them and then disappearing.
What?
I'd never seen it happen.
I thought it was like an art installment. Like they never
Well,
see the people
maybe it
building
is.
them.
Yeah, they never see them. And then it's weird, mysterious things are happening. There are also doors that are popping up. And I have to say, I saw a door.
Where?
So I had a medical appointment downtown right by IU Hospital.
Okay.
And my sister was driving me. And the only reason I'm saying that I laughed about this door because I'd passed it a couple times. It's right where you get on 65 by IU Hospital, 65 South. So if you're on that ramp, there is a door and a door frame that is there standing alone. Like it's got like a base to it so that
Are you
it can
talking
stand.
on the interstate?
Yes.
Is it like
on the ramp
is it
up to the
connected to like
interstate?
those walls that they build?
No, it is a glass and wooden door, like a house door, that is standing up in the middle of nothing.
It's an on-ramp to someplace else.
Well, and so I said to her, because I've passed there several times for just different things that I have been down there, and I go, I always think it's so weird when I see that door. I've never acknowledged anybody else. I never took a picture. I never said anything about it. She goes, yeah, I bet it's a portal. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it didn't cross my mind that that's a portal. What if it is? What if it's a plain sight portal? Like, why is it still there? It's been there for months, at least.
Should we visit the door? You go first.
I'll take you. We can leave now.
I'll open
Let's
it
try
and you
idea.
go in first.
I need to shift my focus away from celebrity like gossip, and I need to go right on the conspiracy train because I have never heard of that either.
Oh, well, there you go. There's some more. Okay, another
Wow.
one. This one is a little obscure,
Okay.
Even you didn't believe it at first.
but I was attracted by the name.
Okay.
Okay. It's a glitter conspiracy.
Glitter, yes.
So they're saying that all the glitter is being bought up by unknown
Greg Beckham?
sources.
Yes.
I wish. And the conspiracy behind it is that it's some sort of solar climate intervention and that the various governments are buying it up so that when need be, they can like throw it out from planes and the sun will reflect off of these little glitter things and I think bounce the rays back to produce fake clouds. I don't really know. It has
Glitter
to do
bombing.
with-
Protect?
to protect, to it like a power source, I think.
Oh.
It's somehow related to a power source and a climate power source. I didn't know I followed a little bit on this trail and then I got bored. Science isn't my thing. I did not know that we create fake clouds that are capable of producing water.
Yeah, I've read
Like
a
we have
little bit about it.
machines
Yeah.
that create these huge clouds that look like a cloud.
Yeah, because-
and then it produces water.
I think they're learning to like how to like help like
But,
drought
like, yes,
areas and things
but not
like that.
in a building. This is in the sky. Like, I think that's weird.
Yeah, that
I mean,
I
it's
think
cool.
it's extremely weird.
I don't
but I have
understand
seen maybe something about that on like 60 Minutes or something. You know, one of
Yeah.
those things, but nothing in depth.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
That is neat.
And then we kind of touched on it a little bit, but we talked about the murders here in Delphi and how, there's one man that's been arrested and he's going to trial, whatever.
And that could take forever.
And I have said all along that I believe it's a group of people, and I think that there is a ring,
Yeah.
a pedophilia ring involved somehow, and that's conspiracy in that sense that I think town officials possibly were involved, and maybe not just this town.
No, I think
And
that
I think-
there's truth behind that.
I think that there are officials involved in a lot of shady crap.
Because there's too many of those.
Said that, didn't I?
There's too many of those particular type of cases that go unsolved, or when they are solved, I don't know. It's like there's a scapegoat,
Yeah.
and not that they weren't privy to what I mean. You know
But
what
that
I mean?
person shouldn't have had the wherewithal to do what they're saying this person did a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's more to it. Somebody else, something else. I've said too much.
You better lock your door tonight. One of the things that I learned when I was doing research for conspiracy theories isn't really a conspiracy theory. It is actual truth, but I guess there's a conspiracy attached to it.
Okay.
I said this to my husband, and he's, of course, I'm an idiot. He's like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, okay, why haven't I been worrying about this for like ever? It is the thing that there's a humongous volcano under Yellowstone.
Yeah. Oh, they just did a.
Okay. What would worrying about it do?
There was on National Geographic. There was like
I gotta get out.
3-parter about the volcano. On National Geographic, my mom and I watched it one evening.
Aw.
There was like a 3-parter on that. There is a volcano under Yellowstone that can, if and when it erupts, and when is the big, it will destroy us.
Okay, well, what they said was,
No, the world. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
the United States. I mean,
it'll wipe out the United States, and it's definitely there, and it's like 44 miles long or something crazy like that. Like it's a huge volcano.
Right.
How do I not know that existed? 1, 2, the conspiracy is that people, the government or people in power know when it's going to erupt, or at least have a very good idea. And so they're making a contingency plan to evacuate the country. Now, I can't even get a flight on time going on spring break, and they think that if a volcano's going to erupt, that they can get us all out
They're
of
not
here.
getting us all.
They just want to get them out of here. I'm
ones
going to
that
the
matter,
Denver
and guess
airport
what?
is
You
where
don't
I'm
matter.
going.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
going
matter.
to the basement. So yeah, apparently that's going to happen. And I just hope it doesn't happen in our lifetime or tomorrow.
So many of the conspiracies are around American politics.
Yes.
And to me, I think that, and there were during elections and things, of recent. And I when those things would come up, I would say, why would the whole world participate in this? That doesn't make any sense. Or, prices of things or things that are in short demand, short supply, whatever. And I would think, so you're telling me the whole world is in on this against this person? That doesn't make logical sense to me.
Well, no.
But some people believe it with all their hearts. So.
Okay, I have a question. What do you guys think about chemtrails or crop circles?
Sure. Aliens, why not?
Oh my God. Well, the chemtrails, the one conspiracy that I read was that, again, it's the government. The government is dropping, you see the chemtrails, dropping chemicals on places to affect the people that are living there. Not in a good way. Why couldn't it be in a good way? Why couldn't they be dropping wonderful things on
flower seeds that grow and make everything pretty?
Yes. Why couldn't it be something good? But no, the chemtrails thing is a government thing.
Are you talking like the Ohio train explosion?
No, was it?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying that the government's involved in that a couple of weeks ago.
Well, why would they do that?
Well,
well, they're not being very. So a train crashed, right? And what did it hit, Tracy? Where it brought off all the chemicals? What
it was in it?
I think it was just in it itself.
And the government is being very. When people are getting sick, they're getting infections, and it was on the news this morning on the national news in their eyes, their respiratory. It's fine. You guys are fine. The levels aren't dangerous. Everything's good. I don't understand.
Right. I don't know.
That's not true.
Some people are saying that it was a terrorist thing that we're covering up because we don't want whoever did it to have that recognition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Some people are saying, it's in a part of the country that was hit very hard by opioid addiction in the past 20 years, and it's a way to eradicate some of that area.
Oh my God.
I don't know. There are a lot of thoughts of that, which is sad and scary.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot, Rachel. I've heard of both the things that you were talking about, the chem stuff. Mm-hmm. I can see that being a total government thing, and they're testing to see how it affects the population, how it affects growth, how it affects everything. I can see that being a scientific study. The crop circles and I think that's people just being creative and trying to make people think that they're UFOs doing that.
Okay, because that was always a UFO thing.
I kind of feel
they do corn mazes here in Indiana pretty effectively.
Yeah, so I'm
there's really no difference between
there was what was that movie that Mel Gibson was in? It was about the whole thing. Signs, I think, is what it was called. And I just kind of think, that's just
a John Deere tractor.
Being a little creative. But
it's an artist rather than an alien.
I believe on that one. Now the chemical dumps, I definitely think that's government related.
Any other ones that you would like to speak of, or ones that you definitely believe or don't believe?
I will say that I don't believe all of these, and I could absolutely believe all of these. So it's as conclusive as I thought. That's where I am weighing in on it. Am I putting any feeling or heart behind any of this? Absolutely not. Am I saying that if it all came true, would I be surprised? Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, we live in a world where nothing is surprising anymore.
And okay. I'm going to go about my business with me in mind. Hope for the best.
If you run into Bigfoot someday,
good for you.
You're going to be like, told you so.
Again,
take a selfie.
Bigfoot could live out there. Why can't he?
Exactly.
Leave him alone.
Why can he not?
Leave him alone.
Yeah. Why can't he just
or the
live?
Loch Ness
Let
monster.
him live.
Leave it alone.
Let him live.
Yes.
Love is love. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I think we've given you a lot to think about. Lots
to
Google.
To think about.
I need to start exploring my alternate universe. Or not. It doesn't matter.
Bliss. Why are you going to look for things?
You're right. I don't need to know anything. I'm so happy not knowing. Right. Thank you again for joining us. If you've enjoyed what you're listening to, please share it and like us and spread the word. And we will be back with you a little bit later. Thanks for listening.